So next up, podcast listeners, we have the dumbest bill in America. And do we have a lead up, Mr. Producer? Here it is. And it's the dumbest bill in America. And it is California bans gas-powered lawn equipment. Yes, you heard that correctly, podcast listeners. The state of California is banning gas-powered lawn equipment because, you know, that's what your priority is when everybody's trying to leave your state. Here's CBS 8 San Diego reporting on the actual bill. We have that clip, and here it is.
Carla, thanks. California is banning the sale of new gas leaf blowers. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law banning the sale of new gas-powered off-road engines like leaf blowers and lawnmowers.
So that is the actual explanation of CBS 8 in San Diego about what the bill actually kind of sort of does. But here is the owner of Blitz Lawn Equipment. This is also CBS 8 San Diego reporting. But here's the owner of Blitz Lawn Equipment who sells these gas-powered lawnmowers and leaf blowers and so forth. He's talking about how this is going to affect his business in the state of California. We have that clip, and here it is.
Casey Bliss owns Bliss Power Lawn Equipment. He's working with the Sacramento Municipal Utility District to offer money in exchange for old gas-powered equipment.
We saw that this was coming down the road. We see battery as becoming more and more commonplace.
But not commonplace enough.
I don't know of a battery-powered rototiller. I don't know of a chainsaw larger than a 20-inch bar that's battery-powered. So not quite sure how CAL FIRE and some of those type of things are going to go out there and mitigate fires when they have to have battery powered.
Yeah. So that's the gentleman who owns Blitz Lawn Equipment. And he makes the point that, you know, CAL FIRE is the organization, very large one, that cuts down trees to try to block the fires from spreading in California. And they use, of course, gas powered chainsaws. And the question he has is, well, how are you going to get the amount of power that you need from an electric battery for a actual chainsaw? And when you want to till your garden, or you want to till an area that you want to plant a lot of, you know, kind of rose bushes or whatever else you want to plant, your tiller, there's no such thing at the moment as a tiller that has actually a battery. They're all gas powered. So how do you do that? Just like suddenly you pass a bill, you're going to ban gas powered lawn equipment, and then the next day, what happens?
Yeah, because I think they're banning like the future sales of it, and I think the biggest argument against it is on the commercial level, right? People that need this for firefighting, that need it for their lawn businesses. You know, the battery tech that's available, I don't think it's a problem to shift away from gas powered motors from a supply standpoint for people's homes, like a home lawnmower or something like that. But when you're talking about needing to rely on a chainsaw in high heat and crazy demands that are on it in those situations, the battery tech is just not there to even run these tools and run this equipment.
And podcast listeners, you have to understand, Jonas Small, who is a millennial, actually is in this industry. He's in the renewable energy business, specifically battery technology.
Yeah,
so he knows what he's talking about.
So I worked for a company that makes batteries for home use and for business use, and looking at, you know, even just the energy density that these can provide and what products are already out there. Is it possible that there could be a company that comes up from this that then supplies that demand? Yes. But in terms of supply chain and manufacturing and being able to have equipment that works all the time, I think they're going to run into a lot of problems.
So to be fair, too, California did just pass this bill,
right?
The ban of gas-powered lawn equipment, but it doesn't go into fully in effect until 2024.
Yeah.
In which case you cannot buy any of this kind of lawn equipment anymore, anything that has to do with gas-powered lawn equipment, which means you're probably going to have a hard time, not just finding it, obviously, but having it repaired. And I'm pretty sure you aren't going to be able to necessarily use it probably in 5 to 10 years, because then they're going to just say, no, you can't even use it, even if you have it and it still works.
Right.
So then what happens? 2024 comes, you need a tiller.
Yeah.
Because you're in the landscaping business. There's no electric generated tiller to till the soil. Then what?
That's a great question. There's going to have to be some company that rises from the depths to find solutions for this, because there's not one right now. Like the power demands that are from that, you could slap a big battery in the back of your truck, but now you're losing space for your other equipment, and they're not cheap. Like being able to provide a battery that stores enough power for all of your lawn equipment for your business is so expensive, and there's no way that people are going to be able to purchase that. So it would be really interesting to see where this shifts. I get the impression that it's going to have to be edited later on. It's going to have to be.
Well, that's what's so funny about this. They pass these bills. They're so virtuous and they pass them. And then, at some point, the governor is going to have to sign some sort of executive order to delay the implementation because of the fact that it's not ready. Proof. Here's proof, podcast listeners. We have KCRA News reporting. This is another clip about this issue. We're going to talk about actually this immediately after the clip. How about the pandemic and what it's doing to the supply chain? We have that clip, and here it is.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating, but it's kind of out of our hands. Nothing we can do about it.
Werner tells me he's not fazed by the governor's decision and is more focused now on keeping business going during the pandemic.
Each week there's a new category that's got a shortage or a price increase, and we just try to react as quick as we can.
And we know that stores can continue selling gas-powered equipment past 2024 if they still have them in stock.
So if they still have the gas-powered equipment in stock because they bought it, they can sell it after 2024. But obviously the whole idea is to stop these individuals from even buying gas-powered equipment and putting them in their stores so people won't buy it. But if you don't have a replacement for it, you can't buy it. And then you have this gentleman who owns a store who's saying, well, with the pandemic, we can't even get stuff that's being manufactured to put on the shelves, not because people are buying so much of it, but because not enough of it is being made.
Yeah.
So California puts this law in place during a pandemic.
Yeah. Well, and what runs an electric device? You need chips, you need electronic components that are also running out of stock everywhere. You have electricians not being able to get the parts that they need or the quality of the parts they need. I'm sure everyone's seen, right, the automotive industry, the chip shortages and things like that. And
Absolutely.
So you're going to run into even worse of a supply chain issue if you're trying to all of a sudden pour in all these new devices.
How about the grid constantly going down in California? If you have to keep recharging everything in California at your house, you got to recharge your car, you got to recharge your truck, you got to recharge all of the lawn equipment. You have to recharge, the go-kart that your kids want to use and ride on the street, or the golf cart or whatever that is. But you have the grid that constantly is unreliable in California because California is saying you can't generate electricity from natural gas. You can't generate electricity from anything other than renewables. What the heck? It's like a third world country then.
Well, and even the fires that we talked about in California, the utility companies have to shut the lines down periodically just to avoid the risk of fires. And so, they've done different state incentives trying to push batteries into people's homes to make it easier for everybody. But I think with the population leaving California and there not being enough money to put, how do you tell everyone in California that you have to have a battery in their house and then not help them pay for it? And who's paying for it?
Yeah.
And so you run into a big logistical nightmare of trying to mandate that everything is battery powered and electronic when the market's not there to support that.
So here's the big question for millennials. So California passes this gas-powered ban for lawn equipment. And of course, California has done the similar things for gas cars as well. So for the millennials, there's no doubt that you guys want, a cleaner planet and all that stuff. And I think everybody wants that. But do millennials understand that when bills like this are passed and you don't have the technology really ready for prime time, that you're putting tons of people out of work? And that at the same time, you're making things worse and you're taking advantage of a pandemic when people are the weakest.
Yeah.
Do millennials understand those nuances, or are they just, as a general principle? I know millennials tend to be diverse, of course, but not necessarily so much on political issues.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And it's tough all around because, I think California tries to come out and make a lot of these policies and they end up being this testing ground for the rest of the U.S. because they throw out these absurd policies where all of a sudden you can't have a gas car, you can't have a lawnmower, and I think it's a separate argument for me to say, well, can you even tell me that I can't purchase a gas powered leaf blower? Like, that's kind of interesting to me, on its own topic.
Well, what I want to see is this. I want to see Gavin Newsom one day driving his electric car and then, getting like halfway to his destination. The car is like quickly running out of electricity. The battery, the charge is running out, and then the grid goes down. And then he tries to stop and to recharge it, and he can't because the grid is down. And then finally, I mean, that would just be epic. That's what needs to happen for these idiots, because you know that they're not in any way, shape, or form following their own rules. You know that there are going to be exceptions in these rules and laws for them. They will never be accountable for them.
Yeah, and they're making changes, but I think some of the problem is they're trying to make all these changes at once, right? Where it's like you need the infrastructure to be able to back up the policies that you're putting out, right? So if you make these policies where people can't have gas-powered cars and people can't have gas-powered equipment, there's not the infrastructure there to even support that monetarily or in terms of providing battery backup and solar-powered, utility power from the grid. Right. And
exactly.
So they're kind of doing it all at once. And I think that there's no way this is going to happen. It's going to have to be pushed back or edited or changed later. There's no way they're going to be able to implement this and not put hundreds of thousands of people out of business or have them continue leaving California.
There you go. And that's the last word for Mark and the Millennials. And that's the dumbest bill in America. California bans gas-powered lawn equipment.